Mustafa is a child that I met during one of my medical missions in Jordan. I was providing medical care to refugees, and it began to rain. I ran into a van for cover, and when I looked out, there was Mustafa staring at me. I still see his face. I will never forget the way he looked at me. I saw fear, confusion, helplessness. He was standing there, barefoot in the mud, holding a soaked piece of bread to eat. Mustafa is one of the many children that I meet during these medical missions. They are what the outside world calls a refugee crisis. All of us are aware of the crisis, and I'm not here today to lecture you or to ply you with any more statistics. I am here today to share with you the story of Mustafa and the countless other children like Mustafa who live in refugee camps across Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey. Their innocent faces have changed me and changed my direction in life. They drew me into a completely different life, a better life, but one I never imagined I'd be in. Today, I'm someone who spends most of her free time in refugee camps across the Middle East, helping people who have lost so much. But I wasn't always like this. See, the story of these children isn't about what we can do for them or what we can bring them. It's about what they can do for us and what they can give us if we let them. To understand how these children changed my life, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my background. My parents are originally from Palestine, but I was born and raised here in the United States. My parents instilled in my brothers and my sisters and I a core set of values. Love your neighbor. Don't lie, don't cheat, and always give back. During Ramadan every year, since I can remember, my family and I would choose a charity to donate to help people who were in need. My parents would remind me every day how lucky I am to have food on the table. So giving back was part of my life growing up. But that wasn't the only part. The other part, the larger part, was full of school, education, and frankly, making a lot of money to buy what I want, live how I wanted to, and be that strong, independent woman I've always dreamed of becoming. And today, I'm a divisional director of health and wellness in the state of Washington, and I'm pursuing my doctorate in nursing practice and leadership. But my life in Washington and the way I viewed that part of my life changed 3 years ago when I got an opportunity to host a 7-year-old boy named Waseem from Gaza. Waseem lived in a tent with his family in a refugee camp. He was born with a congenital deformity to his lower legs that left him unable to walk. He arrived at Shriners Hospital in Spokane, Washington, and he stayed there for about 6 months to receive treatment. When I first saw Waseem, I still remember his facial expression. He had that sad, lost, hopeless look about him. I wanted to do everything possible to make Waseem happy. I bought him everything a 7-year-old child could want, but he would just look at the items and put them down and not play with them. At first, I never understood why, but then I understood. What Waseem needed from me was love, support, and to help him believe in himself, that he could do anything he wanted to do. I gave Waseem what he needed from me. Waseem felt unstoppable, like he could do anything. Within 6 months, Waseem was up, walking with prosthetics for the first time in his life. He learned the English language. He spoke Spanish too. He felt unstoppable, like he was going to do anything, like go to school. And today, Waseem is in school for the first time in his life. Seeing that positive change made me want to share Waseem's story. And so I did. I shared it on my social media. Friends, family, people I've never met before fell in love with Waseem's story, and they fell in love with his courage. People would reshare my posts and reach out to me and tell me how inspired they were because of Waseem, and they wanted to do more to help. I wanted to help more children like Waseem. So I got an idea to start urgent care clinics in refugee camps. I use social media as my platform to recruit medical professionals, volunteers, and to collect enough donations to buy medical supplies and care. Initially, I thought I was only going to get local volunteers, but to my surprise, people from all over the world reached out to me. Here, I can only name a few people that came with me on these humanitarian missions. From Spain, Dr. Caliante, Dr. Frioli. From Italy, Dr. Mario. From Egypt, Dr. Hisham. From Palestine, Dr. Maha and Dr. Awad. But it wasn't only medical professionals who joined our medical missions. It was photographers, journalists, housewives, office personnel, the next generation of leaders. All of us had the same need. We wanted to help people who needed us. In our first medical mission, we set up urgent care clinics in multiple different refugee camps and provided medical care and provided aid. Some of the aid we distributed were school supplies, books, food baskets, clothes, shoes, basic human necessities. In this picture here, Dr. Awad, an ER trauma doctor, is attempting to remove a foreign object from a little girl's ear. And this picture, a diabetic woman is complaining of dizziness and shortness of breath, so she's getting her blood sugar checked. But it isn't easy to set up these medical missions. They take months to plan. I have to find the right area, the right location, get clearance to enter the area, and get medical clearance to treat the people in the area. My volunteers and I have to travel thousands of miles, and we are at times detained at the airport and held for hours. Sometimes we're denied entry into the country. I personally was detained for 17 hours in a jail-like location in Lebanon and denied entry. All volunteers must travel thousands of miles, leave their sheltered homes and lives to help people who need the help. We pay for our own expenses. We bring our own equipment. And we work every day for 7 days in each area we visit. We do this not because we must, but because the people inspire us. In those camps, we are one with the people. Those people inspire us to continue to do this work. In every refugee camp in impoverished area that I have been into, the first thing that I notice when I enter the camp is the children's faces. They all have that same sad look about them. But then something changes. They feel like we're there, like we care about them. We show them love, we show them compassion. Their faces change. They feel like they could trust us. We turn into their heroes, and their faces turn into laughter. In these past 3 years, this is what has changed about me. When I close my eyes and try to sleep, images of these children run through my head. I try to catch their faces in pictures, but I can't adequately describe the pain and horror these children go through. These faces push me to continue to do this type of work and to help give them a better tomorrow and a chance for a normal life. And it's their faces that persuade me that there's still hope. When we think about the refugee crisis, we think it's too big or it can't be fixed. But when we see these faces and we see the self-evident truth that we are all human, we all need the same things in life. We need love, we need compassion, and we need humanity. Once we embrace this fundamental truth, once we see refugees as deserving the same type of love as any one of us does, we will look for ways to help, and we will look for ways to find help. Remember Mustafa, the picture I showed you in the beginning? This is Mustafa now when he sees me. This is what healing humanity looks like to me. Thank you.